a sound, is a brand new film directed by Kris. Now, this is a strange one with production. It is a Spanish American production, partially filmed in Spain, partially filmed in Kentucky, apparently taking place in California according to the license plate on a car. And this was released on Blu ray and then released onto streaming. 2024 on Blu-ray and then 2025 on streaming. I don't get it. It's a very strange one of the strangest releases I've seen thus far. This is on Tubi though as well, which you can watch for free, which I did. And JT Kris has some other films on Tubi as well, which I'll get to a little bit later. But this one basically is a horror film slasher, you could call it, where you have this serial killer who basically enjoys recording found footage style his kills, and the film starts off with basically a montage of a bunch of people that a bunch of his victims kind of thing, and this guy does not discriminate whatsoever. So you got like men, women, children, you got all ages from teens to older women, older men, everybody. And the film, the way it starts, is this guy recording the victims and the kills, and then recording himself. And he's a very odd guy. He does like a lot of like things to the camera, and it's just bizarre. But the film opens up for a good like 10 minutes at least, where it's just victim after victim, and then they're begging for their life, and then he kills them, and then it's just another victim, and then he kills them again, and then it's another victim, and then it's another victim, and then it's another victim, and I'm like, is this the whole movie? Like, is this just a montage of kills? Because that would be really dumb. But it's not, thankfully. After a good 10, 12 minutes of that, we start with the film. And the film is about this mother and two sisters who are traveling, and then they get into an accident and they run into this killer. And the mother is murdered immediately, and then the two girls have to survive for themselves. And this film takes place in a forest, so it is a low budget film. It is a B movie, and they utilize the forest area well. Is it shot well? Kind of. Is it interesting? Meh. There is another girl that is introduced in the story as well. Now, these girls are really, really young. Like, they're like preteen young. And it's cool to see them be badass, even though you do have to stretch your believability a bit, because you have this big hulking serial killer who looks like a biohazard, like, doctor kind of guy. He has this like neon yellow rubber suit with the full black respirator, like full head style, with the breathing thing, and that's his getup, that's his style, and it's all right. I mean, it's freaky enough, but and it is quite simple, but it's effective. You know what I mean? So it looks like a costume and a getup that didn't cost very much, but looks intimidating and scary. So, but these girls, these tiny girls, you have to kind of stretch your belief, kind of, this big hulking guy and these girls defending themselves against him. It also gets a little bit exploitive because they're so young in certain parts, a tad, but it's still badass, and it's cool to see them. Like, they're great at what they do. Actually, they're better actresses than some of the adults in this film. I'm not even gonna lie, and they give it their all, and they perform well. They do a really good job on screen, and it, it feels Blair Witch ish, but the thing with this film is there's a lot of meandering from the beginning to the end, and it's a lot of just POV from the killer as he's stalking these girls through the forest and everything. And it's so silly and it's so ridiculous. And one thing I can't get over is just the fact that this killer is walking around and he's hiding behind. I'm not even joking, like, not even trees, okay? He's hiding behind little grass sprouts, and he's just like, he can see the victim, and then they're like 10 feet away maximum, and then the victims just like turn around and they're like, oh, I guess that was nothing, and they just keep on walking, and then the serial killer like starts chasing them again with a and they're like walking and they're looking behind them again, And like I'm as far away from them as you are from watching me, and it's like they're hiding behind like the thinnest trees, and apparently the victims can't see them, and it's like, come on, come on, that is so ridiculous. He's clearly visible, so that got on my nerves a little bit. And this guy also takes like an immortal Jason style to him, which for Jason, they kind of explain the supernaturalness of him, but for this random Joe who likes to kill people and record it and dress in a biohazard suit that can take 17 blows of a hammer to the head and like 14 axe blows to the chest. And then 2 minutes later, he's walking around with just like a little slit over there and he's like just doing his thing again. It's like, come the fuck on. No way. He's not going to be okay after what happened, all right? It's just too much. And you like this the suspending of disbelief is an understatement. And the acting's fine for what like well, the acting is below average, but you know, like I said, child actors and low budget, probably like, you know, micro budget friends family doing a lot of things. I don't know if there was professional actors in this. I do like though what the director was going for, and he does, as I mentioned at the beginning, have other films on Tubi. One of them being Ouija Clown, which I will check out because I love killer clown films, whether they're you know of all kinds, good ones, bad ones. They're like the whole killer clown thing is something I'm into. And then he has an Amityville film. I forget what it's called, but because I'm watching or trying to watch all the Amityville films, I'll check his out eventually. But I might talk about some other films of this director, J.T. Kris, that I come across. But as for this one, it's just it's mediocre at best. It's fine. I mean, the killer looks cool, and the preteen girls for what they do are pretty badass and pretty dedicated. And I'm sure they had a fun time on set too. There's this one scene too where you get this like adult guy and he's jogging and he's another victim. And again, it's the same bullshit where he's just walking through the forest and he's like leaning on a tree, relaxing, and the killer's like there, and he just turns around and he should see him because it's right there. But apparently, you know, the killer can just hide behind a blade of grass somehow in this like neon yellow, bright ass yellow suit. But hey, whatever. So, yeah, that's the movie. And then the ending is kind of your average ending. It's not bad. It's not inventive. It's just, it is what it is. It ends like a lot of horror movies end. So it's free on Tubi. If it sounds interesting enough, go check it out. You know, I have seen worse films, but this is not one that I would probably revisit. Although, like I said, I'll see his other films and I'll see how those go. So, especially Ouija Clown, I'll definitely probably check that one out next. So, we'll see. Until then, subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you like to listen to my voice or if you like my film reviews. I'll be back with more soon, so stay tuned for those. Check out what's on the channel already. Stay tuned for what's coming. Until next review, have a good one. Take care and cheers.